Hi everyone, welcome to my final capstone presentation. My name is MelissaRandell and I'm a student in the part-time program. This is an outline of my presentation. I'll start by introducing myself, then I'll show and explain my capstone project. I'll go on to discuss some course and practicum highlights, and I'll conclude by tying in some of the MSW competencies and a short summary. I hope you enjoy my presentation. My name is Melissa and I'm from St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador, which is the very east coast of Canada. A little about my education background. I completed a Bachelor of Science with a major in Psychology in 2010 from Memorial University. I went on to complete my BSW from MUN as well and graduated with that in 2013. I accepted my first social work position in 2014 with the Department of Children, Seniors and Social Development, which is under the Government of Newfoundland and Labrador. My experience has been in child protection, including assessment, long-term protection, children and care, foster homes, and foster home assessments. I'd like to work in healthcare in the future, such as the women's health or neonatal intensive care units. A little about my personal life. I live with my husband, 3 cats, dog, and my sweet baby girl, Avery. I'm excited to say that I became a first-time mom on March 31st of this year. I'm currently off on maternity leave and loving my time off with my little girl. I'm also an animal lover, as you can probably tell with my miniature zoo of animals. These are some pictures of myself and my daughter Avery that were taken shortly after she was born. She's already growing up so fast. Although she's pretty new, she has been an important part of my MSW journey. These are some photos of my animals, including Maggie, Bailey, Zoe, and Lucy. Luckily, they all get along for the most part and are enjoying life with their new human sister, Avery. For my capstone project, I decided to create a fairy garden to represent my growth in MSW journey over the past 2 years. Gardening is a skill that I have not mastered. My family likes to joke that I can't keep plants alive for more than a day. This project challenged me, allowed me to be creative, and helped me work on a new skill. I enlisted the help from my mom-in-law in getting some feedback and advice on putting it together, as well as borrowed some figurines from her large gardening supply. I surprised myself as the project came out better than anticipated, and I even enjoyed creating it. Here are some pictures representing the process of creating my garden. The ones on the sides are some of my supplies, and the one in the middle was taken when I started to assemble it. My animals were also quite interested in the assembly process and tried to sneak into some of my pictures. I have my completed product displayed in my home office so I can enjoy it when I'm doing some MSW coursework. This is my final product. I'm going to go over a few things that pieces in my garden symbolize for me. I debated sharing this in my presentation as it's been a personal struggle for me, but I've decided to share it as it was part of one of the most difficult times in my MSW journey. I introduced my new daughter Avery a little earlier in this presentation. What many people don't know is that prior to starting my MSW, myself and my husband have been trying to conceive for quite a while. I excitedly found out that I was pregnant a few weeks before I left for our first MSW Institute in August 2017. I was excited and eager to begin my MSW journey as well as my journey to becoming a new mom. On the first day of our institute, I miscarried and ended up spending most of the evening in the ER in a strange hospital far from home and my family. To say the first week of my MSW journey was difficult is an understatement. I debated changing my flights and going home and trying to defer starting the program, but I managed to persevere through the week, which took great strength. I definitely wasn't the most talkative classmate during that week, but I'm proud to say that I got through it and completed my week in Waterloo. I'm happy to say that I met a few classmates who I've remained close with that were supportive and made the week much easier. The importance of positive supports in our lives cannot be underestimated. It takes a village to complete a master's degree while you are working, parenting, and trying to keep up with life. In my garden, the house on the far right represents to me where I started my journey, whereas the house on the left represents my progress and where I have traveled so far. I made a little telescope which can be seen in the house on the right, which represents how difficult and long the journey appeared at the outset. The flowers represent a challenge for me, which was being able to balance my personal and professional responsibilities to complete my degree. They represent that I have risen to the challenge and progressed and grown. I feel that I've grown as a student, professional, and as a new parent during my journey. I was lucky enough to become pregnant again a year into my MSW program and recently had a baby girl in March. There's a little sign, which may be hard to see from the picture, next to the house on the left that says "Life is better with you." I chose this to represent this new change in my life as a new mom. The little fairy inside represents my sweet little girl, who we are so thankful for and who brings joy to our lives every single day. There are a couple of animals in my garden, including a dog and some cats. They represent my love for animals. My pets have played an integral role in my self-care throughout the past 2 years. They greet me every day, including on the best and worst days, and always curl up with me while I complete a paper or some discussion postings. The campfire represents a place to gather where there is room for my family and friends who have been key supports in my life over the past 2 years. There are also a few butterflies in my garden that I chose to represent my mom, who passed away a few years ago. She played a huge role in shaping the person I have become, especially in encouraging my education. I feel that any project representing my growth would be incomplete without a piece of her in it. Here are a few more pictures of my final product getting some sunshine on my deck. The rest of my presentation shows a snapshot of some of my educational growth and lessons learned throughout this program. Diversity in Health was our first course, which was completed as a summer institute. We had the opportunity to complete a group project where we traveled the Waterloo region via public transit, attempting to seek services for a target population. Our group completed our project on seniors. Through this project, we experienced discomfort and barriers that many seniors face in seeking resources. I learned valuable lessons in recognizing my own privilege, as well as gaining a better understanding of the impacts that the social determinants of health have on various populations. These lessons emphasize the importance of advocacy in the social work profession when linking clients to resources. One of the major themes in social work practice and health was disease and illness perspective of health issues. From the disease perspective, focuses on an individual's physical health and any risk factors or lifestyle issues that may have contributed to their health. The illness perspective focuses on unique and personal experiences with the illness, such as coping and timing of the illness, such as in key life transitions. This course helped me look beyond the typical medical model of disease and into the unique struggles that our clients have. Understanding the illness perspective is essential in guiding our practice in healthcare. Supervision and leadership was one of my favorite courses. Working in child protection is often frustrating, and it was valuable to gain an understanding of the responsibilities and challenges that supervisors and managers have in social work. I also gained valuable information on characteristics that make a good leader. For instance, transformational leadership is a style of leadership that is characterized by the fullest development and motivation of supervisees. There are 5 factors that contribute to this leadership style, including charisma, idealized influence, inspirational motivation, intellectual stimulation, and individualized consideration. I'll use this information in my own practice and in the future if I'm granted the opportunity to have a leadership role. In health issues and ethics, one of the key moments for me was when we completed an activity where we identified words defining care and discussed how these are shown in forming therapeutic relationships with our clients. Discussion focused on recognizing that although we may have a lot of clients, our clients often have only one social worker, us. The importance of being genuine, attentive, and maintaining our therapeutic relationship cannot be underestimated. Although we may not always see our clients' questions or concerns as emergent, we have to consider their feelings and frustrations in navigating a complex and stressful system. In my experience, I feel that's often the small things, such as returning a call or following up on a question, that helps build relationships with the people we work with. When clients have discussed negative experiences in working with child protection, their frustrations often stem from negative interactions and relationships with their social workers, as opposed to the policies and systemic issues. I'll continue to be mindful of this point and will consider this in my practice going forward, no matter what area I choose to work in. One of the highlights for me in evaluation was the opportunity to collaborate with several of my peers in forming a comprehensive outcome evaluation process for a CBT group, Mind Over Mood. This was a semester-long collaboration where I learned lessons in research, ethics, data collection, evaluation design, and most importantly, working as part of a team with my peers. On a side note, I've had some excellent group experiences in this program where I've formed peer relationships that will hopefully last for years to come. This support has been key in helping me get through and enjoy this program. When I completed knowledge mobilization, I, like many of my peers, had no clue what these terms meant. Through this course, I learned a lot about the ways we share and obtain information. Most importantly, I learned some creative ways of sharing knowledge and stepped outside my comfort zone. I had the opportunity to create a blog on sharing information about the social work role on interdisciplinary teams. Social work practice and mental health is my last course, with the exception of our upcoming summer institute. This course has been one of my favorites of the program as well, as we have had the opportunity to work through clinical cases, including valuable discussions with our peers and instructor. I've been able to integrate clinical theories that have resonated with me, such as person-centered therapy and motivational interviewing. I completed my practicum from September to December 2018 with the Family and Youth Services Program, which is a sub-program under the Department of Children, Seniors, and Social Development. This program mainly provides counseling to individuals, youth, and children involved with child protection. I had the opportunity to work with some clinical colleagues and carry my own caseload of several adults and children. This program also offers some groups. I had the opportunity to co-facilitate a healthy relationship psychoeducation session with my field instructor. I also collaborated with a fellow MSW colleague on site from a different program in creating a new psychoeducation program for adults who have been impacted by trauma. My field instructor had a strong knowledge base of solution-focused therapy. I was able to gain a lot of knowledge and practice with this form of therapy while also integrating aspects of person-centered therapy. I had a great experience on my practicum and enjoyed both clinical and program development aspects. Pictured is a list of the MSW competencies of our program. It would be impossible to comprehensively talk about all of these in this video. The ones I have selected to touch on are promote human rights and social justice, employ critical thinking in professional practice, and engage with individuals, families, groups, and communities through professional practice. Income distribution has been a prevalent social structure that I have encountered both in my practicum and in my professional practice. In both my practicum and employment, I have worked with families involved with child protection. Many, if not most of the families I have worked with have been impacted by their income and financial stress. I've gained a good understanding of how this factor impacts those I've worked with in their parenting as well as in their ability to meet goals outlined on their case plans. When families are in financial stress, even getting to appointments for services is difficult. This in turn impacts their ability to fulfill goals to have their files eventually closed or even have their children returned to their care. During my practicum, I had the opportunity to advocate on a micro level for several individual clients. The counselors who were on my team regularly advocated for the clients they worked with. My field instructor has often advocated for timely transitions for children returning home to the care of their parents when she felt that the transitions were slow and the client's progress was not being recognized by the organization. In relation to my own personal experience on practicum, I often had to advocate to some of my clients' social workers and child protection in relation to removing barriers for my clients to avail of services. Transportation costs were often a barrier as many clients did not have supports, a readily available bus route, or the financial means to pay for a taxi to get to counseling. I worked with one client who was a new mom who did not live on a bus route. She was open to attending the service but often had to bring her infant with her as she did not have childcare. My experience in advocating for my clients was mostly positive during my practicum, as on numerous occasions the social workers were able to get financial approval for taxi transportation or childcare for those who needed it. Theory helps guide our practice and enhances our critical thinking skills. While many theories have enhanced my learning and critical thinking on this journey, the one I've chosen to discuss here is the ecosystems perspective. Ecological models emphasize the fact that individuals grow and mature in complex physical, psychosocial, political, and economic environments. Further, our genetic makeup interacts with our surrounding environment, including domains such as neighborhoods, schools, health services, and culture. As stated earlier, both my practicum and professional practice have been in child protection. From a child protection perspective, an individual's parenting is often impacted by their history, development, interpersonal relationships, support systems, income, housing, education, and culture, among other factors. Throughout this program, Micken and Raphael's 2010 social determinants of health have been emphasized, which I have been able to relate and apply to the ecosystems theoretical approach. Both ecological theory and the social determinants of health have helped me think critically about the service recipients I've worked with on my practicum and employment. I've also been able to apply my knowledge in my course studies and discussions with my classmates. By having an awareness of the systems and barriers surrounding service recipients, I have been better able to help them and individualize the services I offer. For example, during my practicum, I always discuss barriers to attending services with my clients. Often the people I work with identify transportation and childcare as issues in consistent attendance. Taking into account my knowledge of how these factors impact clients, I was able to successfully advocate on behalf of several service recipients, making their counseling participation more successful. As social workers, it is essential to be cognizant of the systems and factors that impact the people we work with. A one-size-fits-all approach does not work in social work. We can often start our work with clients by listening to their stories and reflecting on the various systems that have impacted them. When working with adults and children in my professional practice, including my practicum and my employment, I always try to incorporate a person-centered approach. I work in child protection where often many clients are disempowered, have experienced significant trauma, and often have fear of systems and social workers. Embodying these characteristics has helped me form positive and supportive relationships with my clients. I'll continue to use this approach no matter which field I end up working in the future. I've also found that positive relationships with clients has helped me in collaboration with other team members. Clients often feel like a part of a team, and when this occurs, collaboration is often positive and more effective. In summary, my MSW journey has helped me grow on a personal and professional level. I started this program in August 2017 when encountering a significant personal event. At that time, I second-guessed whether it was even the right time to do the program. Persevering through that difficult time with support has helped me become a stronger social worker and person. I'm ending this program as a new mom, which is also teaching me more valuable lessons every day. Throughout the program, I've formed positive relationships with my classmates, peers, and various professionals that I've had the opportunity to work with. My hope is that this journey will lead me down some new exciting career paths in the future. My capstone project allowed me an opportunity to challenge myself with a new skill, step outside my comfort zone, and create a product that symbolized me and aspects of my personal and professional journey. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed my presentation and capstone project.